Parents, when did you go from hating your child's partner to loving them? My daughter Emma brought home this guy named Tyler when she was 19. He had tattoos covering both arms, rode a motorcycle that woke up the whole neighborhood at midnight, and worked at some sketchy auto shop downtown where half the cars looked stolen. Everything about him screamed trouble. The leather jacket with patches I couldn't read, the ripped jeans that probably cost more than my work pants, the way he'd rev that bike in our driveway like he was showing off for the whole street. My wife Carol and I would watch from the kitchen window, shaking our heads and making comments about how Emma had lost her mind. We'd raised her better than this, or so we thought. During family dinners, Tyler barely spoke. He'd sit there picking at Carol's pot roast while Emma chattered away, trying to fill the awkward silence that hung over our dining room like a dark cloud. When we asked about his family, he'd give one-word answers and immediately change the subject. When we asked about his future plans, he'd shrug and mumble something about maybe opening his own garage someday. The guy had no ambition, no education beyond high school, and seemed perfectly content living paycheck to paycheck. Everything we'd taught Emma to avoid in a partner. The final straw came when Emma announced they were moving in together after dating for only 8 months. I completely lost it. Told her she was throwing her life away on some deadbeat who'd probably leave her pregnant and broke within a year. Emma cried for an hour. Tyler just stood there in our living room taking every harsh word I threw at him, then quietly said they'd find their own place and wouldn't bother us anymore. That night, Emma packed 2 suitcases and left. We didn't speak for 3 months. Carol blamed me for driving our daughter away, and honestly, I blamed myself too. Then everything changed. My wife had her stroke on a Tuesday morning while I was at work. Massive one that left her unable to walk or talk properly, drooling and confused about where she was. I was juggling my full-time job, daily hospital visits, and trying to figure out insurance paperwork that might as well have been written in ancient Greek. The stress was eating me alive. Emma came to the hospital the day after it happened, but we were still barely speaking. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. That's when Tyler showed up, carrying this beat-up spiral notebook and a grocery bag full of healthy food. He'd spent the entire night researching every aspect of stroke recovery. Physical therapy options, speech therapy programs, dietary requirements, medication interactions. He had phone numbers for support groups and knew exactly which insurance forms we needed to file. While I sat there feeling completely helpless and overwhelmed, Tyler was making phone calls, getting my wife into the best rehabilitation program in the city, arguing with insurance companies for hours until they approved treatments they'd initially denied. He started showing up every single day after his shift at the garage, still wearing his greasy coveralls, hands stained with motor oil, smelling like he'd been working under car hoods all day. He'd sit with Carol for hours, reading to her from magazines, helping her with speech exercises that the therapist had taught him, bringing her favorite flowers even though she couldn't tell him thank you. The breakthrough moment came 6 weeks after the stroke. Carol was struggling to say my name during therapy, getting frustrated and upset, tears streaming down her face from the effort. Tyler leaned over and whispered something in her ear that I couldn't hear. Suddenly she smiled, took a deep breath, and clear as day said Kevin, her first real word since the stroke. I found out later he'd been paying for her premium physical therapy sessions out of his own pocket, the ones insurance wouldn't cover. $200 a week from his mechanic's salary, money he'd been saving for months to buy Emma an engagement ring. When I finally worked up the courage to ask him why he was doing all this, Tyler looked me straight in the eye and said, "Because Emma loves you both more than anything, and I love Emma. That makes you family, whether you like me or not." That's when I realized this tattooed motorcycle riding guy had more character than men twice his age wearing expensive 3-piece suits and talking about their stock portfolios. My wife walks with a cane now and speaks slowly but clearly. At their wedding last spring, she insisted Tyler dance with her first before anyone else, including me.